everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this Tuesday morning, afternoon or evening across the world where you may be at. And today this is going to be the beginning of my Reddit Autism forums reaction and critiquing playlist that I'm going to do. I think this is going to be a fun new experiment for me, and as an autistic woman I thought it would be fun for you guys to see my reactions and my critiques of autism forum posts that are on Reddit. I've just been screenshotting some topics which have piqued my interest and piqued my critique, and something that I've either experienced or gone through. And today's one is going to be about a question that asks about unmasking. It says, can people deal with you once you've unmasked your autism? So I want to answer this question in the best way I know how. In response to me unmasking my autism, I think a lot more people have started understanding the way that I act, the way that I communicate, the way that I come across, and the way that I am, and the reason why I am a neurodivergent person. But I also do tend to mask a little bit when I'm around people, because still there's that little niggle inside of me that's like, they're not ready for me to fully tell them, you know, they're not going to understand my autism, they're not going to understand the reason why I am different, the way I do communicate, the way I may be nervous and anxious and feel a bit scared to be around them and everything else. So when you are masking, it is exhausting, but you mask because we are expected to be what society calls normal, and unfortunately that doesn't work for neurodivergent people like myself. I'm only speaking on behalf of my own self and my own self experiences, but when it comes to unmasking or beginning to unmask your autism, it can be a really scary step to physically and mentally unmask your autism in front of people, because they are the ones that are going to be watching your every move, your every word, your language, the way you say things, your tone, your expression, your body language, the gestures, the metaphors you may or might not do, the way that you interact with your eye contact, again, because it is a common critique for a lot of us on the autistic spectrum. I do get heavily critiqued about my lack of eye contact and my lack of body language. Again, that is down to my autism. There is nothing much I can do about that. But with regards to unmasking autism, it is a personal choice. It's a personal preference whether you choose to unmask or not. And the way that you choose to do that, by if you feel safe with the people that you're around, or if this is unmasking in front of family, there's always the right way of doing it. So whether you write down questions, or whether you are really just on the top of your head ready to tell everybody about what your autism is and how it affects you. But at the same point, it took me a little while to fully unmask my autism. It took me a while to fully accept who I was and why the way that I was. It took me a while to progress and accept that I was in fact on the autistic spectrum. It took me a few months to get my head around, okay, you are different, Gemma, you know, you do act different, you do talk different, you are a very different person, you know, you are very, in the past, obsessive, needy, compulsive, demanding. But I'm still structured to a degree, but I've learned to be a bit more relaxed about it. But I do like my routines. I only unmask my autism around people who are fully in my trusted circle. So that means people like my family, my trusted friends, people who have known me for a very, 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 very long time, that believe me and accept me. And it takes me a while to fully unmask my autism anyway, because again, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to feel like I'm a burden or a charity case or someone to feel sorry for me, because that's not what I'm trying to do here. But with unmasking versus masking, it does take a while, because we are used to masking for so long and for such long periods at a time, is that we get used to masking so heavily, because everyone's just like, oh, well, you know, Gemma does so well, you know, she's able to cope so well, she's able to talk so well, you know, she's able to dress so well, you know, she's able to be out in society and she's able to behave herself. And, you know, I mask so much and so heavily that people don't even recognise that I'm on the autistic spectrum. But for me, it is a way of coping. It is a way of being successful out in the world of social interaction and communications. It is also a way to not be judged or critiqued or bashed or bullied, because a lot of people have judged me and bashed me and bullied me in the past for the way that I am, the way that I act, the way that I look. They've also told me, you know, oh, how can Gemma be autistic? She's so female, and, you know, she's so calm and she's so collected and she speaks well and, you know, she dresses well and her language is very good. She's very verbal. And do you realize how much practice that takes me? Like, I am exhausted. So when it comes to unmasking my autism around people, it does take me quite a while because I am around groups of people a lot of the time who I don't know, who don't know about my full diagnosis, or they may know very little about me. So again, it is a personal preference of choice when you choose to unmask and when you choose to unmask and who you choose to unmask to, because it is a lot of considerations that you need to put into practice beforehand. And I think when we do unmask and we do let people know we are autistic, and we do let people know that we are potentially, you know, on the autistic spectrum, or that we are getting assessed for it, we are officially diagnosed, it can be a big shock and adjustment to the system. So I think for a lot of us, it is a way of preserving our anxiety and protecting us from being hurt or potentially not understanding our own selves to begin with. So when you do unmask, make sure that you are ready to unmask, make sure that you are comfortable, that you are safe in a safe environment, that you're around people you know that you can fully trust at any time to explain that to them, because again, it is the way that you present yourself, it is the way that you tell them about your autism. And for me personally, I still am very wary about letting everybody know about my autism. I still only tell people that are close to me, or, you know, who I've known over years and years and years, and I've built up that trust, that rapport, that security with them. And it's just a personal preference, you know. Unmasking, can people handle me? The question was asked. I guess it depends in what context you're aiming that at, because if you're asking me, can my family handle me unmasking? Yes and no, because most of the time they are very aware that I do unmask my true self. I am very aware of my own sensory boundaries, my anxiety boundaries, and sometimes they see that all the time. But for some people who, like professionals, they don't see the full aspect of my autism. They don't see the full unmasking when I get home from meetings. They don't see the full unmasking when I'm on online calls and talking to professionals, because I don't want them to see that. I'm very good at switching the masking on and unmasking off afterwards. So I can go mask all day heavily, and then once the mask comes off later that day, or the next day, or the next day after, I'm able to go and drop, because I'm able to finally drop that mask and that barrier down, because I'm not having to be in an environment that I'm not capable with, or I'm not happy with, or I'm with people that I don't know and I don't know how to communicate with them. So I think unmasking, again, is a personal preference. It's something that has to be a really big consideration. It has to be something that you are ready to do in your own space, your own time. Do not let others pressure you into unmasking, because that is the last thing that you need to be doing, is being forced into unmasking your autism in front of a bunch of strangers, whether that's work colleagues, friends, family, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, you know, you name it. Just make sure that you are ready to unmask, and you'll know the right time. So I hope you've enjoyed this first Reddit critique, and I will attach the original screenshot down below as part of this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!